So what's going on, guys? It's Brandon here.
And it's Jamie here.
And today we're actually going to be ranking the Mario Kart DS OST.
Yeah, this is something that we've wanted to do for a while, and we're glad to finally get round to it.
Of course. Well, I think we shouldn't dawdle, and let's kick things off straight away with number 16.
Alright, Brandon, what is your number 16?
My number 16 is Cheap Cheap Beach. Honestly, I don't care much for this theme, and I don't know, it's just kind of boring. It's the beach theme, yay. What is your theme?
Well, unsurprising to anyone, I've actually gone with Desert Hills, the correct pick.
There you are, you stinking bilge rats! Stop playing that music! Stop it, please! I'm begging ya!
Now listen, right? One of my least favourite instruments is the sitar. It grinds my gears, and this track just, oh my god. The track layout's fine, whatever, right? But the music, it is grating. It hurts my soul. It is so annoying. It is terrible.
Well, that's all well and good, but, I think you could be a little less harsh on Desert Hills there. At least it makes for a bit more of an invigorating theme while you race.
Yeah, and while I won't defend Cheap Cheap Beach much, what I will say is, I can vibe to it.
Well, that's fair. Anyway, let's move on to number 15. And for me, that's Yoshi Falls. Yoshi Falls, I feel... It's definitely better than Cheap Cheap Beach, but it falls into the same trap of being a bit too calm for a Mario Kart race. And now, granted, Yoshi Falls isn't exactly the most enthralling track, but those waterfalls make me feel like I have no control.
That is fair. Now for 15, I've gone with Cheap Cheap Beach. Yeah, it's not much higher, but I want to clarify that there is a two-tier difference between Desert Hills and Cheap Cheap Beach.
Nasty.
This one, it doesn't really have anything special. It is a generic beach theme, but I like beach themes, so I'm alright with it. I think it has a good melody, and it has a good catch, but it starts off quite slow. I mean, it is what it is. It's what you expect for a beach track.
Yeah, and while I absolutely agree with where you've put Cheap Cheap Beach, I mean, I'd have been fine with Cheap Cheap Beach in 15th too. I just couldn't ever put it above Desert Hills like you have. And I'm sure you won't disagree with where I've put Yoshi Falls.
I mean, I can't completely disagree. I mean, it's not going to be particularly high ranking for myself, but Yoshi Falls it's a vibe. You know what? It's unique.
It's more vibey than Cheap Cheap Beach.
No track sounds like Yoshi Falls.
No, of course. And I'll tell you this now: Yoshi Falls is a stark contrast to Cheap Cheap Beach, and just absolutely sells it a little bit better for me.
That is fair enough. Give us your 14th, Brandon.
14 for me is, of course, DK Pass. Now, DK Pass for me is not really a fan favourite of mine, and the music doesn't really sell that buzz either. Now, it definitely fits the track. It's very wintry. It's very bouncy. But honestly, the only thing that should be bouncing on that track is my face down the mountain when I fall off because of the boulders. What is your number 14?
That is fair enough. Brandon, hold your kahoonies, because at number 14 we've got Bowser Castle.
Whoa!
Now, this is my least favourite Bowser Castle theme. I love DS to death, and I think the DS Bowser Castle was good. But this is such a mid Bowser Castle. Like, I can't remember a single thing about it. You know, Bowser Castle, right, you usually get your rock, you get your, catchy loops. This one is just random shit thrown in pan.
Just throwing random shit in pot now.
Well, I can agree that it is random shit thrown in a pan. Right, I'll give you that. It's the only Bowser Castle to do it, and so I can't agree with where you've put it.
Okay, just because it's the only thing to be random doesn't make it less random.
I suppose not.
I mean, listen, if you like it, fair enough, but it's just not my cup of tea.
That's understandable. I mean, DK Pass, I'm not sure you're too thrilled with where I put it.
We'll get into DK Pass. Okay, number 13 for me
It's Delfino Square. Yes, I know, I can hear people typing in the comments now. But Delfino Square for me is exactly what Toad Harbor felt for me 10 years ago. What the hell is this? It just kinda... It's an alright theme, and the track layout's cool, I guess. But, like, I don't know, I just wasn't ever a Sunshine person. And so it never connected with me as a track. And I'm telling you now, part of the old tour debate of whether it would be Airship or Delfino, yeah, no, I was on Camp Airship every single time.
That is completely fair. Now, in 13th, I've got the Battle Course theme.
Ooh.
I like this. It is personally one of my favourite Battle Course themes. But good God, it gets repetitive.
Yeah,
Because it's on every single Battle Course track. If you ever play Battle Mode, it's the same music over and over again. It's that factor alone why it ranks low. But I'd say in terms of Battle Course themes, it is really up there. It's catchy. I like it.
Yeah, I can agree with you there on it being catchy. It's very it fits battle, you know. It's perfect.
It's upbeat. It's dancing.
Definitely. And I think that like it's definitely not like I don't think it's a top 10 finisher for me personally, but
It's fair.
it's good, right? Don't get me wrong. It's definitely one of the better battle themes that we have. It's better than the.
I think we should talk a little bit about your ranking of Delfino Square. What the... Brandon, you've had a mare.
I've not had a mare, right?
Brandon, what have you done?
Think about it, man. Right? Think about it. Delfino Square for me,
Square?
right, is what Toad Harbor feels for most people.
Yeah, aka a boring track with good music.
Well,
I get the boring track part, but what the hell with the music? Delfino Square slaps.
well, if
What
that's
have you
your
done?
opinion, that's your opinion. But we're moving on to number 12 for me. Circuit 2, the beta theme.
Okay.
Now, this theme, we kind of had a bit of deliberation on whether or not we was going to include it, but we decided yes, because if you can access it and drive on it, it's a theme we're going to rank. And while it's tricky to access, you can access it. And honestly, it's a great theme. It has like what it is. It basically was the birth of Piranha Plant Cove, which is amazing.
Piranha Plant Pipeline, Brandon.
Sorry, yeah, Pipeline. I had a brain fart. Thanks for that.
You're welcome.
But yeah, what about your number 12?
Well, it's funny because I've actually gone with the circuit theme, the OG.
Oh,
Now, it's good. It's a good circuit theme. But it's mid. It doesn't do more than it has to. Which I like, because it's meant to be simple. But unfortunately, it is still simple. Like, I'd say in terms of circuit themes, it's the middle of the pack. Middle of the pack. I can remember it. I've got lots of memories of playing Figure 8 Circuit. But,
yeah, same.
yeah, I mean, there's not really much to say. That's kind of why it's at 12. Because unlike like most of the other tracks, I haven't really got anything to say here.
That's fair. I mean, I too am a fan. I mean, you know me. I like my circuit tracks, right? That's a very strange group of tracks to like, but I just like real racing. You know what I mean? Like, I love it when I'm on an actual racetrack rather than like, I don't know, drowning or something like that. You know what I mean, right? So
That's fair.
but then like, I find it funny that we both put a circuit track, some kind of circuit track at least, in the same slot.
It's funny how we both like disagree with what order the circuit tracks should go in.
Yeah, I think like one of us holds the other in a higher regard.
Yeah.
And that's totally fair. Again, it's all preference, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on.
Give us your 11, Brandon.
Let's move on to number 11, and my number 11 is the battle mode. So now we've of course finished the themes here that are not racetracks on my side. And as I've said before, the battle theme is solid as hell. It's dancey, it's upbeat, it's whatever, right? And it just misses the top 10, but that's because I couldn't bring myself to put it above number 10. But what is your number 11?
My number 11 is Yoshi Falls.
Wow!
You know what? Whatever I might think about the track, this is a vibe. You know what? Like, It's one of the it's the biggest example of music fitting the track. In all of this, right, I would say it's the music that most fits its track. Right, it's simple, it knows what it's doing, it's not overcomplicating it by throwing random sound effects in there, is it?
No, of course not. I mean, it's doing what it intends to, which is gripping you.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Yeah,
And
nothing really to say about
it
it.
sells there perfectly. It's just, for me, there are a lot of other tracks in this game that do their intention probably a bit more interesting than Yoshi Falls does it. But I'm not knocking Yoshi Falls as either a track or a theme, because I love them both.
Yeah, I could agree with that, and in the same regard, I could say the exact same about the battle theme.
Yeah, the battle mode is just solid in its own right.
It does what it needs to.
Yeah. Now,
Okay.
this is getting
Top 10.
wild now, because you can probably think of what tracks are left, but you might not necessarily know what's left. And same for me, thinking about yours. But number 10 for me is going to be a shock to a lot of people in the comments, but Luigi's Mansion.
Ooh.
Now, it makes it into the top 10, and I just couldn't bring myself to put the battle mode theme over this, because the Luigi's Mansion theme genuinely, perfectly, like, it captures Luigi's Mansion in both the track and the theme, which I love. It's just the layout of the track is a little mid, in my opinion. What about your number 10?
That's fair enough, Brandon. At number 10, I've got the beta theme.
Okay.
The second circuit theme.
Nice.
I mean, I have to admit, I place it a little bit higher because it's so weird. It's so weird, and that's why I love it. It's so random. And yet, at the same time, I can't help myself listening to it.
Yeah, I respect that. I mean, sometimes randomness produces incoherence, like Bowser's Castle, like you said earlier.
Yeah,
and then other times it produces brilliance.
I really wish we would have seen this, you know. Genuinely, I would have loved to have seen this dotted on the track somewhere.
Yeah, I agree with you.
It's fun. It's fruity. I like it. There's just something about it.
Yeah, man. I totally agree with you. I mean, what have you got to say about Luigi's Mansion in 10th for me?
I could say a lot. Well, but I don't really have to. It makes sense. Like, it's not something I'm gonna find myself adding to a playlist, but it does its job well.
Exactly.
As I said about Yoshi Fall and the battle theme, it does its job, and it does its job very well. But that's about it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna find myself like jamming to this one.
No. Right, number 9. Right, we've almost reached the halfway mark. Right, and this will sort of mark the end of the first half. And number 9 for me is the main circuit theme, including Figure 8 and Mario. And personally for me, I mean, as a kid, I played DS all the time, so this is one of the first things I ever heard opening the game, right? Obviously I heard the menu theme and the options and whatnot, but like, when I get out on track, this is the first thing I hear opening the Mushroom Cup, and I love it, right? It is genuinely filled with childhood memories, and honestly, everything from here on out is linked to a childhood memory of me just loving it immediately. What about yourself?
Well, at number 9, I've got Luigi's Mansion.
Huh, right there.
Yeah, really, almost as if I kind of agree with you. Yeah, it does its job. In terms of circuit theme being that place, fair enough. I know you quite like it. You are a bit of a nostalgia fiend, but that's okay.
Yeah.
I get it. Yeah, I mean, it's not something I'm adding to a playlist. Like, I would say anything from 7 or 6 above, I would add to a playlist.
Yeah. I'd like to just sort of take a small break to sort of say that for all of these tracks, they're all on my playlist. Every single one of them, even Cheep Cheep Beach. I mean that.
God.
They're all on my playlist. But that's because I love DS. DS is such an excellent game and is genuinely like, it's a core memory. The whole thing is a core memory. So I treasure them all. But yeah,
Huh.
let's move on to the second half.
Why did I start a channel with someone who listens to Dead on the Hills unironically? This was an awful idea.
Hey, I mean, let's let the comments decide that one, yeah? I don't want to create any huge sparking debates now. I don't want to...
Bash him comments, bash him.
I don't want to set the keg off now, yeah? Right.
Should have gone Specsavers.
Sure. Now, let's start off the back half, right? Number 8 for me is Shroom Ridge. And I think Shroom Ridge has aged, right? That's why it got a remake, obviously, right? But I think the remake of Shroom Ridge does it more justice than the original. So much so that normally Shroom Ridge would have been really, really high, like top 5 worthy. But unfortunately it can only place 8th here, because I think while it's iconic in my mind, and I'd never forget that tune, I can hum that with like just perfectly, like I'll remember it. But it's been outclassed by itself, which is strange. Anyway, what's your number 8?
My number 8 is a little track. It's a little track called Airship Fortress.
Ooh, you have to explain that one to me.
Well, I have to admit, it's not a theme I think about often. It's a typical, menacing, scary, heightened intensity's just gone up, But it doesn't do much. I get it, you'll defend the shit out of this track, I get that. But for me, it's trying too hard to be scary. It's trying too hard to, like, sell the track for you, as if the track even needs selling. Too much.
Now, while I will agree with you that the track does not need selling, I will not agree with you in saying that the theme is not doing it justice, or it's trying too hard. And I'm gonna use my favourite trump card here and say, the comments, can you bash him for me, please? Because Airship Fortress is absolutely fantastic and does not deserve slander in any regard, down to its track layout, theming, or its music.
Hold on, no, hold on a minute.
Brilliant.
How are we distracting from the fact that you just put Shroom Ridge in 8th? Hold up, that does not compute, Brandon. That does not compute. What have you done? The remake's better. Good God, you can say that about all of these tracks. Apart from like 2 of them.
Not necessarily.
Like, hold a bit. Just the remake's so good that I can't listen to this one anymore. What kind of logic is that? The groundwork is there. The foundation is there. You can't build a second floor without having the first one.
Well, of course. That's why it's there.
The Shroom Ridge is simple but perfect. It's elegant. It's exactly what it needs to be.
And that's why it's there.
The hidden gem.
That's why it's 8th. Yeah, I think the remake does better, but that doesn't mean I don't like the original.
Alright, we're going to be having some words later, pal.
Oh, of course. Now, number 7 is a little track called TikTok Clock. And on the subject of remakes, I remember you saying at some point in time that you're not actually a fan of the 8 Deluxe, well, I suppose just base 8, TikTok Clock remake.
Yeah.
Now,
well,
I think that realistically, it does better here. It does way better here than it does in 8. I feel like it being an 8 is just fan service, and in DS, it's probably one of the best tracks. And I love the panic you feel. The theme makes you feel panic because it's a ticking clock, and that's the point. And I love that. It's perfect. What's your number?
Well, you know what? I can agree with you a little bit, but my number 7 is Delfino Square. I know it's lower than it should be, but like, it's very generic. It's generic seaside town.
See, that's what I said, but I put it at 13th.
Good God, the second half of the melody goes so well. It is a beautiful little bugger. Right, this is a bop. Right, from this point onwards, anything goes in my playlist.
Yep. Fair.
Right, this is a beautiful little jingle. I think it's the best part of the track. I love it.
Yeah, that's fair. I get that. Like that's good for you. I know you like your little. Like cause you like I know you like Peach Beach and like that theme, right?
I
It's
love
the
Peach Beach.
like. You tend to like your beach tracks anyway. I know you do. So, like having Delfino in that same bracket, it makes sense because it is a seaside town, right? It's a port, isn't it? So, I think honestly that makes sense for you. And I really wish TikTok Clock could have been higher for me, but there are just too many things that outclass it at this stage.
That's fair enough. I mean, TikTok for me is a little bit higher. I like it. I won't disagree with your placement now. I think you've got it somewhere in the right region.
Yeah. Alright then. Number 6. Now, as we have said before, there are some hot takes on this list. And number 6 for me is Desert Hills. So that is a real hot take.
I forgot you hadn't ranked that. Good God.
Yep, that's right. Desert Hills for me is actually, personally, one of the best desert themes that we actually have. Right? It's nowhere close to Bone Dry, and it's like literally kissing the bollocks of Dry Ruins, but it's a solid bronze. Like, it's an easy bronze for Desert Hills in terms of, like, desert themes. And I'm gonna get a lot of flack for that, but I don't care. I will die on this desert hill. Thank you, I'll be here all week.
Oh my God.
What's your number 6?
Just to give me a second to process what the fuck I just heard. Number 6 for me is Rainbow Road.
Fair?
Good theme. Good theme. It's a very good Rainbow Road theme, but it's not one of the best.
No,
It's chilled out, it's relaxed. It's kind of different from Rainbow Road usually being chaotic and in your face.
Yeah. I can definitely agree with you there.
It's good. It's lacking that hook for me. Like how to describe this, man?
Well, I don't know.
But you know, if you brought a wagon wheel, right, and it's all marshmallow, but you're lacking the jam.
Huh.
That is exactly how I think about this. It's lacking just a little bit more.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna get. I can vibe to this one, but I'm never gonna get stuck in your head. It's missing a little jingle. It's missing a little loop, a little hook, something there to keep me there.
Yep,
like it's outclassed by most of the other Rainbow Roads in terms of theming.
That's understandable. I mean, I think that like it's a preferred Rainbow Road for me. As you know, it's my favourite in terms of layout, and it's up there in terms of music. Though I will say, like, there are some Rainbow Roads that are genuinely unbeatable in terms of like theming for music. Like N64 is a good example in one that's not chaotic, but it's ethereal, right? And it genuinely makes me cry. Right? That theme is awesome, right? And that will go down in history as like probably, like, I can say this now in this video, that it's like Mario Kart 64's Rainbow Road is top 10 Mario Kart themes of all time, right? And that makes sense.
I can't agree, man. I can't agree.
But like
good.
Rainbow,
good.
like Rainbow Road for you, that's cool in that place. Like I agree with where you've put it. Like that's a solid place for it.
I'm not gonna sit here and bash you on Desert Hills. I think there is a little part inside of you, and you are yourself quite little, but an even littler part of you that goes. This isn't seriously here. There is a tiny part inside of you, right, that is nagging right now for you to go. Actually, you know what? No, correct the list. I'm putting it back in 16th. I can't. For all of these, right? I get opinion, but this one is objectively bad. This is a bad opinion, Brandon.
Nah.
What did you do? You didn't, bro.
Nah,
bro.
man, you're fine. Don't worry about it.
You thought, oh, it's a desert, let me cook. Bro ain't cooking.
Nah,
Bro ain't cooking.
I decided to go with a bit of a scorched earth policy, you know? So,
Yeah, well, I'm not gonna lie, right? That take is dustier than the track.
ah well. Anyway, moving on to the top 5. The top 5 is probably, like, what everybody is here for. So, number 5 for me is actually a favourite of yours, Peach Gardens.
Okay.
Peach Gardens, I mean, it's just one of those. It's an excellent theme, fits the track, fits Peach, and it's not like subtle or like slow. It's very upbeat. It does what it needs to do. It's just hitting all the marks, you know. I mean, I have absolutely vivid memories of that on DS, Wii, and Datalogs. Brilliant track, brilliant theme, and it's succeeding in every single game that it's in. What about your number 5?
Well, my number 5 is TikTok Clock.
Nice. I
know
agree
what?
with where you've put it.
Okay, I'm a fan of the sound effects, you know. I think it adds character to this.
Oh yeah.
Like that little alarm clock going off at the start, and it sounds like technical. It fits the track so well. It is a bop.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm a fan of sometimes music not like smoothing its edges out. Is it like it goes up, down, up, down, up, down? Like, I'm a fan of it. Like, there's no like smoothing into segments. It's just throw, bam, hit you with this. I like it. It's unique. Something that we don't see in Mario Kart very often, and it's not random either. Right? It is a good theme. I vibe to this.
I cannot disagree with you there. TikTok Clock is excellent. Like, I mean, it's charming, isn't it? Just how it's made and how it's just excellent, you know? Like, they tried something and it worked. And when Nintendo tries stuff, it doesn't always work. But this time it worked, right? And this is why I don't want Nintendo to change. Because if Nintendo didn't try new things like that, we wouldn't get cool things like TikTok Clock.
Yeah. I mean, TikTok Clock goes to show that not everything needs a saxophone solo.
Exactly. We're looking at you, Dolphin Shoals.
Yeah, you don't need to overcomplicate it. Alright? Simple works best.
Exactly. Now, moving
Right.
on to number 4, and we're getting into the nitty-gritty now. And this has been previously mentioned by you, but my number 4 is Rainbow Road. And it's for the exact same reasons I said earlier. It's one of those more like chill, ethereal ones than a chaotic race to the finish to finish the game. It just kind of fits what I like in a Rainbow Road a bit more. Like, I'm not going to sit here and bash all of the chaotic sounding Rainbow Roads, they're great too. But I will sit here and say that the ethereal ones just fit better, I think, because Rainbow Road is in space. And I associate space with, I don't know, I just feel comfortable with space. I really, really like space. And so, yeah, that's my opinion on DS
I would
Rainbow
like
Road.
to actually poke into one of your comments earlier. So you said that DS Rainbow Road is the top 10 theme of all time, right?
No, I said N64 Rainbow Roads is. That was on a different tangent.
Okay, fair enough. You had me confused for a second. I'll be like, 4DS sounds, no. Right, my number 4 is the stadium theme, so pinball / Wario Stadium.
Okay.
It's a vibe. They these.
I'm gonna just sort of bring something up right now that we kind of mentioned before we were gonna record this, and that's that like you reckoned, or rather we both reckoned that I was gonna put this theme lower than you, and that's not the case.
Yeah, surprises me really. I thought you would have gone like, right, Waluigi pinball. Let's be culture appropriate and put it 15th because everybody hates this. Everybody has to hate Waluigi pinball because it's the most loved track and it's the only track that your mom knows.
Yeah.
Not the case. I think just let people appreciate what they want to appreciate. Don't bash people for liking Waluigi. Do you know what? Right? It's like, in the same vein, bashing people for liking Waluigi pinball, it's the same people who bash people for liking Killer the Toad on Zombies.
Yeah, exactly.
Just let people have their pick. They grew up on the track.
Just to sort of jump on that comment as well, I actually really do like Kina de Toten. It's one of the best maps in my
yeah,
opinion,
it's
of all
one of
time.
the best multiplayer maps.
Yeah, so I'm fully in agreement with you there. I think it
Anyway.
makes a lot of sense that,
Yeah,
I mean, that like it's a loved track, so it's gonna get flack. When something's
Yeah.
popular, it gets flack. That's just how it is.
yeah, I like Stadium. I think this is a brilliant stadium theme.
Yeah,
I think it's the second best stadium theme.
that's fair.
It feels intense, but that's kind of what you want when you go left, right in a pinball machine, or you're doing tricks in front of a crowd.
Exactly.
Not really doing tricks, but
I'm gonna just sort of say that, like, obviously, personally, on like just the tracks and not the music, Stadium is better than Pinball for me.
let's not get into
like-
the tracks. Let's just appreciate the music.
But like, of course, in this instance, they have the same theme, so they share the spot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get on to our bronze medalist, because there's not much to debate with number 4 anymore. My bronze medalist is Bowser Castle.
Oh my.
And like I said earlier, right? I personally like the fact that this random is incoherent. It fits this Bowser's Castle because every element of the track, logically, it does flow in a race sense, but thematically it makes absolutely no sense. Like, you drive in and there's thwomps, expected. You go around a bunch of 90-degree ramp turn things, that's whatever, right? Normally it's like more jaggedy stairs, but that's cool, it's the DS. Then you go onto a rotating floor. Okay, that's funky, but we've never seen
Hold on
that
a minute.
before, so that's a bit crazy, right? And then we move into the next room, and there's this like spiral with a gap in the middle, and like that's whatever. Like that, we've seen that similar thing before in N64 Bowser's Castle, but instead of a spiral, it's just a straight line. And then there's a rotating drum. That's awesome. I love that. That's so cool. But like
Okay.
again, it makes no sense and doesn't fit with anything else in this map. It's just the developers decided, yeah, I'm gonna throw whatever shapes I can find in the editor and clump them all together. And I love that about this Bowser's Castle, and it achieves that just so perfectly. It isn't the best Bowser's Castle by far, but it's a solid one. And the music complements how the track is designed. And that was my point.
So you're actually complimenting the fact that there's random shit thrown in pan.
Yes, I like that.
Okay.
Well,
Well,
I'd like to hear your number 3.
Good news, but I think we're gonna have a bit of a debate after this one, you know, because number 3 is DK Pass.
Ooh, here we go.
I love DK Pass.
Here we go. I did
You know
wonder
what?
where
It's not
this
one of my
was.
favourites, right? But good God, I love the music. This is one of the best snow themes. It's so, like... It is the most casual of casual tracks. Like, I love the music! It's good, it's catchy. Like, I like how, right? Similar to how you're talking about your Bowser Castle, your random bollocks, right? As you go up the mountain, the music escalates with it. It gets higher. The music gets higher, right? And then you come back down, and then it starts again. Like, the music complements it, right? As you move up, the music gets faster paced, it gets higher pitched, like, it gets catchier. Oh, it complements the track so well. In fact, it's the only one up there where Yoshi falls as to just how much you can really add to a track with its music. I think this is a perfect example of a good snow theme. I know people don't like this track and whatever, people find it annoying, but you can't deny that the music is brilliant. God.
Well, you know what? I think you've got a very valid argument there. And yeah, you're right, the track does have complementing music and layout. But I think a lot of it is wasted on the fact that some of that track feels really slow. And some of the music is then kind of slow with it, if that makes sense. It's slow to complement it, but it's also slow, if that makes sense.
I mean, I like it when it makes sense. I like it that, you're moving up the mountain, right? Towards where all the snowballs are, towards the chaotic, slippery part. And I like the fact that the music will go ahead and complement your journey throughout the track. Meanwhile, it isn't just random shit thrown in pan. Right? It makes sense. And it does it really, really well. I would go as far to argue that this is probably the most underrated music track in all of Mario Kart. I would.
Fair. That is a hot take, I think.
That is not a hot take.
And it's ironic,
All you
because
ever
the track
see-
is snow.
All you ever see is people bash this track. I think show this track some love. Right? This is one of the only tracks that hasn't really got a fan base. Well,
you know
I declare
what?
myself the president of the DK Pass fan club.
Well, you know what? Let's take that idea and run it to the people in the comments. I want you all to comment down below, right now, and tell us what you think about DK Pass, and if you think it should be given justice.
Yeah. And as for your Bowser Castle, yeah, I really have nothing to say here. If you like it, fair enough. It's generic to me. It feels like, how can we make it sound scary? Ooh, menacing,
So a similar argument to
theme at the start.
Airship, then.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
Well,
like, it doesn't need to sound so depressing. Like, I think what we've learned with like 8 GBA snares, their Bowser Castle themes, is that it doesn't need to sound drab. It could have a bit of a flair, It should make you feel intense. It shouldn't make you feel scared. That's wrong for a Bowser Castle. That's a Ghost Valley thing.
that's fair.
Alright.
So,
Anyway, number 2.
our silver medalist on my side of the court, and this, I mean, if you know the remaining 2 tracks left, if you've been keeping track, this next one should be incredibly obvious. It's Waluigi Pinball and Wario Stadium. And, I mean, I can't disagree with what this track provides. Like, the music's great. It is genuinely a vibe. And even if I think Pinball is mid, that is aside the fact. Because first of all, Stadium's great. And second of all, the music is just amazing. Like, I will be just, like, listening to music, right? And then Pinball comes around on the playlist, and it's like, yeah, I'm bopping. It's awesome. It's genuinely one of the most iconic themes, I think. Like, I think it's probably, like, in the 10 most iconic Mario Kart themes. I think it's up there.
I think it's probably second.
With some others. You are.
I think it's second in terms of Mario Kart themes.
Yeah,
Being
I think I agree with you, actually.
Yeah. There isn't a single person who hates this music. You can hate the tracks all you want, but there isn't a person who actually hates the themes.
Exactly.
Right.
They do provide what they need to, and they're brilliant. Anyway, I want to hear your number 2, and I think I know what it is.
No, you don't, because number 2 is Peach Gardens.
Whoa! Okay, no, you actually did subvert me. What the hell?
Yeah, thought so.
Wow. Okay.
I like to think of Peach Gardens as the calm before the storm.
Damn.
You know how you get into the middle of the storm and there's the eye, where
Yeah,
everything appears normal? That's what I like to avert this track to. It's sinisterly calm.
Because it
It's
starts
the
the
mid-
special cup, right?
It's in the special cup.
Yeah. Sorry, no, it doesn't start. It's second. Yeah. Continue.
I mean, I like this one. It's if you've heard me talk about Peach Gardens before, then it was no surprise to you. But it's such a jolly melody.
Like I said earlier,
it just makes you feel happy.
it hits in every
It
game.
changes your mood. It does. It makes you feel glad. Right? It's one of the tracks where you look back on DS and it's one of those tracks that you remember.
Absolutely.
Peach Gardens is just such a good track. I think all of it, the entire composition, right? It's not trying to be catchy or sinister or whatever. It's just feel-good music.
Yeah.
It is the Taylor Swift of DS.
Oh, I think we'll let the Swifties debate that one in the comments. So, I mean, to sort of comment on Peach Gardens there for what I said earlier, this is probably one of the only tracks where you could be playing it, right? You're running in first place, doesn't matter, right? You're chilling, having a good time, right? And then you get blued or you get Mario Kart, right? But you can smile afterwards because you're playing Peach Gardens.
Yeah. This is a magical track.
And, again, there's not much to say about Pinball up here. Pinball is solid.
Yeah, there's nothing really to add to that. I agree with where it is.
Yeah. Right,
Okay.
now, it's time for the number 1 reveal. And, again, if you've been keeping score, you should know what both of our picks are. So, of course, my number 1 is, say it with me now, guys, Airship Fortress. Shocker, I know. I mean, yeah, cool. I mean, maybe Jamie isn't so much a fan of the music, but I think he can at least agree on the layout is quite good.
I can agree on the layout, but we're not talking about the layout. We're talking about the music, the melody.
I know, of course I know. Of course we're talking about the music. But one thing that's important about music for Mario Kart tracks is that it fits with the track itself, whether it be the layout or the theming or whatever, right? Or even its difficulty, right? And I wouldn't really cite Airship Fortress as a particularly difficult track. It's up there, but it's not like, it's not Melting Magma Melee from CTGP, but it's also not Luigi Circuit. You know what I mean? So it's music genuinely, like, it's that perfect sinister feel, I think. I really, really, really like it. I like very evil sounding themes. Very evil and, like, badass themes. Like, if it sounds epic or badass or just dark, I like that. Like, that immediately sells me. But you've got to do it right. And Airship absolutely does it right, I think. You might not feel the same, but that track and its theme has held with me since I was 4. So it's been with me a while.
I will sit here and give you your flowers with Airship Fortress. There are parts about it when I talked about it myself that I didn't compliment. I like the ending part where it loops back in. I like that little section. That little segment, yes, but I couldn't care less about the main bulk of it. I like when he goes off on his little solo. I don't know what instrument it is. When he goes off on his little solo at the end and it loops back in.
Yeah.
I like that part.
It's solid.
That part's
and it fits with the spiral as well.
Yeah.
Very
Brandon,
well made.
have you been keeping track as to what my number 1 is?
Yes, I believe. I think I know what it is.
Do you now? Well, number 1 for me is Shroom Ridge.
Yeah, there we go.
Wow, shocker. It doesn't overcomplicate it. It's fun. I've always loved this theme.
I mean,
I think it's become a liked track because of the BCP.
yes, of course.
Alright, and everybody goes, wow, look at what they did to Shroom Ridge. It's now rememberable. But this track was always good to begin with, and the music.
Exactly.
It's like, do you know what it is? It's like driving on holiday with your family. That's what the music feels like.
Yeah, it is.
It takes you back to when you just come out of school, alright, and then you're driving to some random part of the country, right, to stay there for a couple of nights, alright, and that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
It feels like road trip.
I could agree with you there.
And I think it's beautiful. I think every part of it from start to finish is catchy, and it doesn't keep repeating itself.
No.
It's just solid. I've always loved this music theme. It didn't used to be my number 1, I'll give you that. But as time passed, I look back at DS and I go, which of these music pieces do I really have a connection with? And there's only 2 that stick out, and this is one of them.
Wow. I never knew that about you. I really didn't.
Yeah.
But honestly, I can sit here and, like, I'm not taking anything away from you here. I absolutely agree with where you put Shroom Ridge. I have the same feeling and the same feelings towards Shroom Ridge that you do. I've always appreciated that track. I've always loved it. And when people finally realised it was a track because of the BCP, I felt kind of cheated. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
the
it's
track was only garnered recognition because of DLC? Come on. That track's better than that.
This track was always the diamond in the rough with DS.
Yeah.
Like, everybody goes, oh my god, look guys, TikTok clock is Airship Fortress, it's Waluigi Pinball, my god, it's a pinball. But like, no one really remembers this track. And the music for this complements that entire premise of it being a diamond in the rough so well. Like, if you sat down and took the time to like this track and listen to that music, soak it in, you'd love it. I think it is perfect, and I will stick by it as my number one.
You know what? That's a nice sort of peaceful sentiment to leave it on, I think. That is honestly so joyous to hear. And I like that your number one is a track that's not really popular, or at least never used to be. Right?
Yeah.
That's nice to hear, because it's a track I hold dear to me as well. But yeah, so that's going to be it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed it, why not give it a like down below? And if you want to see more of our karting content, then be sure to hit that subscribe button. But for now, that's our checkered flag. So we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.
There you guys.